multinational corporates that operate in the digital space from the United States are evading taxes to the tune of thousands of crores in India. Till recently, India charged a tax named equalization levy on digital advertisements got by them. And that came to a paltry amount actually. Even that has been exempted now. But still, the United States cries at the top of their voice that there is disparity in the trade between India and the United States. Actually, trade is not just confined to trade in goods. It is there on many fronts. For example, trade in services is there, fee charged on different counts is there. Then there are, money charged for using the digital space is there. For example, cloud services. Then on many counts, the US finds a way to extract money from other countries. According to a statistics prepared by Organization for the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, US companies are evading taxes to the tune of $100 billion. You check the amount, and if they are evading taxes, this much taxes, then how much money they might be extracting from different countries around the world and end up without paying a single dollar as tax. This is actually a fraud. They are actually cheating different countries. But we are not supposed to talk on that. We are only supposed to talk on tangible goods. This is a paradox. So let's take a closer look into what is happening on the digital space, how the US companies are using loopholes, how as a country US is using their heft to threaten different countries around the world. Welcome to Insights. I am Hari Kumar. As I said in the beginning, India used to charge an equalization levy mainly on the advertisements got by companies like Amazon, Google, etc. If you look at companies like Amazon, Google, Netflix, there are so many US companies that benefit from Indian users. If they are a responsible company, they are liable to pay taxes in India. But very cleverly, they have devised methods to escape taxes using loopholes. They have created structures that help them to evade taxes in other countries, not just in India, in other countries also. They do the same. And India had tried to, levy taxes from them, but such efforts have not succeeded. For example, I think it was in 2016, there was an effort to tax. Then by 2020, a 6% tax was levied, and it was called equalization tax. But in June this year, following immense pressure from the United States as part of trade talks, India did away with the tax. And now they are not paying a single dollar as tax, whereas now the US has levied 50% tax, 25% import duty plus 25% punitive taxes on imports from India. So look at the contradiction, look at the paradox. The US has been able to cleverly hide from our view what the reality is. They have covered up the truth, and they are projecting certain things which they want only, that is trade in goods. Earlier, the OECD had recommended a uniform tax of 12.5% on turnover of digital platforms in different countries around the world. Even that would have benefited India a lot. By the 6% equalization levy, India was actually getting a paltry sum of rupees 3,000, around 3,300 crores. Why I said paltry? That is because the real business they do in India, I mean big digital platforms do in India, is much higher, and the tax due from them is also much higher. And even this paltry sum they were unwilling to pay. So that was the reality. Now, had every country agreed to pay the 12.5% tax suggested by OECD, India would have greatly benefited, no doubt about that. So it's the money it was getting at the rate of 6% would have steeply risen. These US companies, how I said about the structures they make, they though they are US companies, their offices operate from tax havens, for example, Cayman Islands and other places. And India is actually helpless. We are watching helplessly. Many people may tend to ask why the government of India is silent on such issues. Perhaps the government might have thought that during the trade talks, the US will consider all those aspects. But unfortunately, they are not even speaking about such issues. They are speaking about trade in tangible goods only. They want to protect their interests at any cost. For example, to save their own shale oil industry, they want India to stop import of crude from Russia, or import of crude. They don't allow India to import crude from Iran also. This is self-contradicting because they want some level playing field, but actually they are creating just the opposite type of field. So this is the reality. Now people are not even aware of this. People are aware of only trade in goods. Even Indian media don't speak about such issues. So this is a paradox which I feel that India needs to address. At least India should voice their opposition to such exploitations, and India should point out how much money the United States is making on different counts. Actually, I have not spoken about the real amount being extracted by the US digital companies from India. I spoke about only the money they get as advertisements on digital platforms. There are other ways also. For example, Indian companies are paying taxes in the US. Indian companies are operating in US, employing US citizen. They are donating to the STEM education in the United States, and so many counts they are giving money. But unfortunately, these are all invisible in payments. The US is not bothered about them. The US never speaks about them. So if you consider all those aspects, I have read certain reports that said that actually the US is getting a surplus in their trade with India. If you consider what is happening on the digital front, we don't just export services, we export innovation, we export many other we add value to US goods, and they resell it in their on in many markets, not just in their domestic markets. So this is the way US is benefiting. At the same time, they are hiding the reality from the public. So this is the real situation. I'll be coming up with more such updates in the coming days. Meet you again. Till then, goodbye.